Dude, Luke, the printer's still busted. What the fuck, man?
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 44 of the Topless Robot podcast. My name is Ryan.
I am Brooks.
I'm Tyler.
I'm Big.
So am I. We're back from our hot air ballooning incident.
Yeah, that's right. They've come back from the moon.
Yep. It was nicer up there. A lot colder.
Did you find Mega Man Volnut? Did you bring him back?
No, I did find...
You piece of shit! I'll never get Mega Man Legends 3!
I did find the Decepticons moon base, though. I mean, it was on the dark side of them.
You know, I don't acknowledge the Michael Bay franchise. And albeit they may have mentioned that in the cartoon series, I think we should talk about something else now.
Did I make you sad? I'm sorry. I had to tell you about my trip to the moon, though. I mean,
I don't remember my trip to the moon. I was drunk the whole time.
Fly me to
I was truing on moon rocks going, this cheese tastes terrible.
Dan was
doing rails of moon dust.
I knew Dan was really drunk when the cheese started tasting good.
Well, Dan went to the portion of the moon that's owned by Scotland.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Sea of Tranquility.
No, Dan thought he was in Scotland. He was wrong.
Look, if I actually
That's how
had
drunk he
access
was,
to a
actually.
drug that could convince me reasonably that I was in another country, I would be on it all the time.
I mean, why stop there and find a drug that convinces you that you're somebody else entirely?
Yes!
So, welcome back, gentlemen.
Welcome
Thank
back.
you.
We are just at the end of Comic-Con weekend.
Yes.
Yes.
And there have been a number of announcements coming out of Comic-Con, not least of which is the Phase 4 plans for the MCU.
It should be interesting for sure.
They include Black Widow, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is kind of interesting.
That they're.
I mean, can we talk
we
about
allowed
Endgame
to-
spoilers at this point? Do you
Yes.
I think the moratorium is
If you
passed.
haven't seen Endgame and you care about Comic-Con, then you obviously don't actually exist.
So I say yes, but, you know, we always have that problem where people would still get mad if we talk about spoilers from movies from the goddamn 80s.
you know,
So-
those people can.
I mean, fast
Stop
forward.
listening.
Fuck off. Skip.
Fast forward a little bit because
Spoilers.
this is your spoiler warning. 3, 2, 1. Falcon becoming
Dumbledore dies.
the new Captain America at the end of Endgame. Is he keeping his name then, or I'm kind of confused here.
Maybe this is the film that he transitions from being the Falcon to full-on Captain America. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
Like he starts off, you know, and the torch has been passed, and he's like trying
Because
to.
we saw the
He
torch get
becomes
passed.
Captain Falcon.
Falcon punch. Yeah. Well, I mean, like, because
I would watch that.
for example, enter this, like the Spider-Man, you know, with enter the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Like they established pretty quickly that Miles Morales has Spider-Man powers, but for most of the movie, he's figuring out how to do that.
Sure.
So I assume that they're going to try to do something like that with the Falcon, you know, and being like, man, you know, my friend decided to go back in time and get old. Yeah, you heard the spoiler warning. So. So now I don't have, like, I can talk to him about it, but I can't, like, you know, who's going to show me how to be Captain America?
Sure.
And then,
And so, of course, it's going to be Bucky.
yeah. And
makes sense.
it's going to be Bucky, but something's going to go wrong. And he's going to malfunction. Because he's somehow going to get activated again. And they're going to have to
They
fight.
can't keep going back to that well.
It's beyond. I feel like it's gone well past that. Maybe he runs into people from his past, but I don't think he. I
Or
think it's
they
been
both become
deprogrammed
Captain
at this
America.
point.
Because, I mean, they both were Captain America.
They were
Yeah.
in the comics.
Like, Bucky became Captain America immediately after the death of Captain America.
Yep.
I remember that because they actually buried Captain America in real life in Arlington National Cemetery.
Oh, really?
NPR did a piece on it, like it was a big deal. And then when Bucky became Captain America, that's when they were trying to do the more violent Captain America, like he was carrying a gun.
Oh wow.
Like not like a huge gun, just like a sidearm, because he's still the Winter
'Cause I
Soldier.
remember when. So did Captain America die long ago, or are you talking about like 7-8 years ago when they killed
7-8 years
Captain
ago.
America? So I remember when that happened, and it felt like such a statement of the state of the country at the
Yeah.
time when it was happening. And so I didn't follow that, and didn't know that Bucky picked up the mantle with a gun, which is just a further statement on the climate of America, making a Captain America that better reflects what this country is becoming, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
And honestly, they might try to do that again with this movie, because I was a Captain America fan for a long time. Like back when I was a kid, you know, I was a teenager and I was considering joining the military and following the footsteps of my family and stuff like that. And you know, at the peak of my patriotic enthusiasm, because I was pretty true blue for a while, which has made this turnaround in my life so interesting. But to me, Captain America was like a symbol for like the kind of American that I wanted to be, you know, like honest and, you know, like for justice and blah, 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 and all that stuff. And when Captain America died, that to me was like, it meant something kind of special, because I'm just like, okay, like, I guess they're finally done. Maybe we don't need Captain America anymore. And of course he came back.
Yeah.
Because that's what superheroes do. Like, how many times has Wolverine died?
Oh God. Yeah.
How many times has every primary member of the X-Men died and was reborn?
Yeah.
Hell, they even had the whole shebang at the end of the Infinity Gauntlet thing, the Heroes Reborn, which was really bad. So they scrapped that again immediately, because like Iron Man looked really bad, the Hulk was weird.
Huh.
Captain America, I'll show you some pictures later.
Okay.
They gave Captain America to Rob Liefeld, and
Okay. That's a weird decision. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Like
he looked like the Hulk in a Captain America costume.
a great way to get an impractical superhero.
Yeah, and they kind of was like, ooh, we don't like that so much, and they're like, oh look, they came back from wherever they were. Yeah. Comic book stuff is weird, but
Yeah. Anyway, I think
am-
it's safe at this point to say spoiler warning over.
Well, I do have another one.
Okay, never mind. Spoiler warning still in effect.
Black Widow. It's interesting that we're getting that movie.
Oh yeah.
I know that we kind of knew the Black Widow movie was going to be a thing. Like, it was rumored.
So it's going to have to be
but it's either got to be a
pre-Endgame.
prequel,
Is it gonna be a-
or it's going
It's
to
got to be what she was up to, like, you know, between
the Budapest
in the 5
thing?
years between
gotta be.
Infinity War and
checking emails, eating
That is
sandwiches, going to
interesting
sleep.
To have that, like, how is that going to relate to the overall of Phase 4 if you're doing a prequel to the ending of Phase 3? You know, like,
Sure.
And
I'm a
also,
little
I don't
confused
know.
how that's gonna, unless they're gonna retcon and time travel and bring her back somehow, and then
The
have her
only one who's going to be
continue.
crazy enough to try and do that is Hawkeye.
Yeah, which there is a Hawkeye series
Exactly.
coming, so I don't know.
I'm
kinda
Jeremy
interesting.
Renner.
I was surprised to see that. I guess I wasn't surprised, but I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with.
Yeah.
I liked his cool haircut.
I would have watched a whole movie of Hawkeye going around murdering people.
Oh, as Ronan?
Yeah, right.
As Ronan?
He got real dark. And actually, I think we are getting a Ronin thing, aren't we? No, maybe not.
We're getting what are the new titles coming out again?
So it's Black Widow,
Yep.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
Yep.
Eternals,
Yeah, the Eternals,
That'll
which
be
is
interesting.
Eternals is kind of weird.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings,
Which one is that? What?
Shang-Chi and the
Oh,
Legend of the
the
Ten
Ten
Rings, WandaVision.
Is that
I have no idea what WandaVision.
I have no idea.
Vision and Scarlet Witch?
Yeah.
What?
Her
Really?
name's Wanda.
Is her name Wanda?
Yeah, Wanda Maximoff.
Yeah.
And her brother,
It's
Dead.
interesting because the
It looks like Wanda.
yeah,
Quicksilver.
Yes, exactly.
WandaVision.
The logo is styled as such as like the 50s TV logos, 50s like TV brand logos,
Yeah.
that kind of, you know,
filmed in
retro.
WandaVision.
Yeah, exactly. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
By the way,
I
fucking
am very
love
stoked for.
the name of that.
Yes.
Doctor Strange and the
Multiverse of
Infinite Sadness.
Madness.
Ever since I saw the first Doctor Strange movie from like the current Marvel universe, I wanted more.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
That is 100%
Absolutely.
like what I am about.
I was reading. Apparently, they're trying to inject a little bit of a horror element into it. So it's supposed to be. They're billing it, and we'll see how much this actually happens. There comes to pass as the first scary Marvel movie.
It's like I'm finally getting a Made
That
Full of
isn't New
Darkness
Mutants.
movie.
Right.
But I mean, it also like that makes sense because the realms which he is capable of treading, like just the end of Doctor Strange, like that. I can't fucking remember his name. That starts with M. The big demon.
Dormammu.
Dormammu. That's right.
I've come to barter.
When he when he faces Dormammu, like that's a fairly daunting, like kind of scary looking.
His head is always on fire, and he's not Ghost Rider.
And so I think it would make sense, like just because of where Doctor Strange can go and how limitless his abilities are.
Where will he go?
He gets to see, and especially with this multiverse element to it, right?
The multiverse.
So getting to introduce that and concept and whatnot, like,
Which means cameos probably from like Robert Downey Jr. And,
Sure.
and Captain, and the old Cap.
yeah, Loki.
Yeah.
And that's interesting too. Again, spoilers. That what happens when so they are taking that as because that's where it's gonna take off is when he steals the stone in game and disappears.
What if it's a Loki tries to go straight movie?
Interesting.
That's what I was reading.
So that makes sense. That
tries.
doesn't make it retcon.
no,
That makes it multiverse.
multiverse.
Because interesting. I was wondering what the payoff of that was going to be.
Yeah. So that's
Now I
what
look
I
even
read today.
larger.
That's where it's supposed to be. That's where it's literally taking place right after that and like letting us know where he's going. Alternate universe.
And then, of course, Hawkeye
Whole
and Thor: Love and Thunder, which is going to be another Taika Waititi film.
Of course.
With a name like that, of course.
Natalie
Taika
With
Waititi.
Natalie Portman.
Taika Waititi's one of my
female
favorite.
Thor.
Yes.
Dude.
Natalie Portman is female Thor. She walked out the way that they announced this at
Thorette.
Comic-Con. She walked out with Mjolnir. And
worthy.
Meh.
I mean, I don't think she's worthy of another Marvel film. I love Natalie Portman. She
No.
seems so checked out.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
surprised that they went that route and didn't just let
I like
Valkyrie take the mantle
right,
there.
but Thor 1 and 2 are just not great films.
no.
Or nor is 3, now that I think about it. Or wait,
Ragnarok was
Never mind.
amazing.
3 is Ragnarok.
You
3
shut
is
your
Ragnarok.
dirty
No,
mouth.
you shut your mouth. I misspoke.
I liked the first one just because like when there was only one, I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool, interesting. And then the Dark World, I was like,
Dark World was
Ragnarok has shown us what a Thor movie can be.
oh, you mean fun,
Exactly.
not tedious?
Yes. And then continuing that characterization of Thor into Infinity War and Endgame, it has developed Thor into a fun, good,
Like a real person.
character.
So this was the thing that I always felt, and they touched on his ego in the first movie and whatever, but he's supposed to be an asshole who makes jokes all the time. Like, Thor is not your serious hero. He's never supposed to be. Even mythologically, he's not.
No.
Like, he's kind of a dick. He's a piece of shit. And that's what makes him great.
He's like everyone's sports friend.
Yeah, he is.
He totally is.
He's like, Thor is supposed to be a Chad, dude.
That's why
I love that so much.
that's why I love his portrayal in Endgame.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of, Marvel Legends has
the Build-A-Figure.
introduced a new line of figures that is going to include Valkyrie, and it's going to include a whole bunch of the movie characters, and the Build-A-Figure is going to be what I think. What was it that Marvel has officially dubbed him? I think it's Bro Thor or something like that.
The Big Lebowski Thor.
Yeah, it's Dude Thor. It's Dude Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude love.
But Bro Thor is hilarious because it's brother.
Brother.
Can I have some lips?
So of these, interesting. Okay,
also
so
forgot what if.
So of these, I said what if.
Did you say what if?
Yes.
You did, okay, I didn't.
Of
What
these,
What if?
Oh, I did love those comics.
It's an animated series. Go ahead,
of
Disney Plus.
of what I listed, the ones that are going to be Disney Plus are The Falcon and Winter Soldier,
Hawkeye, right?
Disney Plus.
WandaVision,
I did know WandaVision was going to be a Disney Plus thing.
Loki, What If, and Hawkeye are all going to be Disney Plus.
Oh well. I have no frame of reference as to how Disney Plus stuff is because it doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, I think
So
it's going to be like November.
I'm
of this year.
I'm not
Oh,
gonna.
is it September?
I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna refrain from further speculation myself, just because, like, for example, when Netflix started making original movies, I didn't know what to expect.
it's November
Now I
12th.
kind of do, but even then, it's kind of hit or miss. You know,
Well, if
Netflix.
the strategy of DC versus Marvel when it comes to breaking into visual media and animation and film and stuff like that is any indicator, we can expect Disney Plus to be drastically better than DC Universe.
I'm willing to wager you're going to be correct in that.
Yeah.
Which is weird though. So DC Universe is now going to be rolled into a new HBO thing.
That's what I saw because
Honestly, that's probably a smart move.
Of Doom Patrol
Yep.
is HBO is
I can't remember the HBO Next or HBO Extra or something like that. Like it's got some.
HB Extra.
HBO, no.
like an add-on to HBO.
They've already got HBO Now and HBO Go, which you can't tell the difference between the two of them. One of them is for people who actually subscribe to normal ass fucking bullshit ass cable, and the other one is just for people who want to stream it online.
For cool
And then
cord cutters
now
like
there's
us.
another HBO, and it includes DC Universe.
I think they're trying to do like what Amazon's doing, where they add the different channels that you can pay extra for. That's what it sounds like. But
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense if you don't have the video backbone to back it.
No.
You know, the reason that works for Amazon is because they have the infrastructure to support it in the first place.
They own the internet.
So they can be like, okay, we'll act as your video distribution channel. So create a channel with us, charge your monthly fee, we'll take our cut, and we've got your infrastructure covered.
Which is why
That
Amazon
makes sense.
has so much weird old shit. What Amazon is my late night playground. Because it's like, what do I want to watch? Do I want to watch a weird martial arts movie? Do I want to watch some weird old?
We've got an entire channel for that.
Yeah, exactly. I just canceled my Shudder subscription because I am overwhelmed by how much weird shit is on there.
But Shudder is amazing. Shudder is the best thing in the world.
And I canceled it, and then I found out that I had to get it back now because of Creepshow.
Yes, Creepshow debuts next fucking month.
Yes, it does.
And it's Greg Nicotero running it, and it looks like they've got some great casts that have come up. I am insanely excited for the new Creepshow.
Creepshow so much. Hopefully they'll give I'll have to watch some more Creepshow.
Yes.
To tide me over.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am completely wrong about what it's HBO Max.
Martial arts?
HBO Max, that's what it is.
And they're just relaunching.
Wait, are they
their
combining with
streaming
Cinemax?
They're just, yeah.
And
Skinemax.
It's with Warner Media, and they're just
Pornomax.
adding, like, a ton of stuff. And if you have HBO already, they're not changing anything.
Oh, cool.
Help me unscramble this channel so I can watch Skinemax at my parents' house.
HBO Go and HBO Now will still be available as separate apps. So it's
That's weird.
really confusing. But they're gonna have their own some new originals. It looks like Dune: The Sisterhood.
Yeah.
Soon the market will be oversaturated and collapse.
Obviously, Watchmen.
Watchmen. Ooh, I'm so excited.
Watchman.
And we got some new Watchmen
Got to
trailers.
see Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah. A brief glimpse at
Brief
Dr.
glimpse,
Manhattan.
but we know he'll be there. It'll be
Dr.
cool.
Dong Hatton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talking about of all the things that I could have watched, since I'm very behind on watching movies.
Really?
On the international flight, instead of watching any of the other culturally relevant things I could have watched,
Like Brave and Shrek.
I watched 2 really shitty Chinese martial arts movies and 1 really good Korean movie called Unstoppable.
Yep.
Unstoppable is rad, dude.
It is.
It's so it's a movie about a former gangster who's trying to go straight and do right by his wife, sort of thing. He's this massive dude, and he just gets tired of everybody like blowing him off and scamming him, and eventually his wife gets kidnapped. And it's not even really a martial arts movie. He's just this huge dude who will headbutt his way through anything. There's a fight scene where he actually goes up against the one guy who's bigger than him, because there always has to be that scene in a movie. He actually lifts this guy up off the ground, shoves his head through the ceiling, and just runs down the hallway hitting his head on all the beams.
Oh yes, I've seen trailers for this. I need to see this movie.
It was a really, really good movie. And then the other two I watched were not so good. Brooks, have you ever heard of the Chinese movie, I think Donnie Yen is the star, called Iceman?
Yes.
That movie sucked ass.
I've seen that movie. It's terrible.
And then this other one might be a little bit more
Featuring Andrew Dice Clay. No.
Someone might be a little more of a deep cut.
Dice Man.
The Unity of Heroes.
Little Miss Muppet.
That one you should watch. It's about the this has been used so many times. Westerners are giving opium to the Chinese, and it's ruining our culture.
I do love that the Western bad guys subplot.
Oh yeah, and the
like drugs or smuggling antiques
Yeah.
or bribing
Smuggling
the government.
antiques.
the main villain's name is Mr. Vlad.
Mr. Vlad.
I'm about it.
They've developed a super form of opium that turns people into like Hulks.
Oh
my
boy.
God.
It's
Hilarious.
This is amazing.
Sounds like something I'd need to have a couple of drinks in before I can really enjoy it. Speaking of drinks,
That's a pretty solid segue, and now's as good a time as any, considering you have to sober up before you.
I
leave.
do.
So, to those of you listening and have not seen what is stationed on our table here, is we thank you to my good friend Adriana, who is a listener of the podcast, and sent us a couple of bottles of Malort from Chicago. And so I saw a video the other day where they were like, I heard that in order to be a man, you got to do 3 shots of Malort. And 2 of the dudes like get through it, and the last one is like vomiting. He's vomiting after 1 shot.
Well, first of all, Malort might be toxic, but it's not as toxic as that shitty masculinity you're trying to pour down my throat.
Zing!
And yet we're still going to be real men.
So I decided to create my own take on this. We're each going to do 3 shots of Malort with a Marmite chaser. So we've got several half slices of potato bread that have Marmite on them.
Potato?
Of the 4 of us, the only 2 who haven't had Malort before is Dan and Tyler. And I don't think any of us have ever had a Marmite.
I have
Is that
not.
accurate? Have you ever had Marmite?
Never had Marmite.
So, yeah, none of us have ever had Marmite. I've just heard of its reputation.
I thought
So
that
it would be
Marmite was an
adequate
antifungal cream.
chaser. So, Brooks, I will not make you pour your own shot.
Can I drink out of the skull one though?
Well, I'm just going to line up. I'm just going to line up 3 for you.
Okay, all right.
I want to
Line up 3.
Again, I know I've already said it. I am not in a good place here. This might end with me throwing up.
We've been waiting for that. You've been teasing that the entire season.
Me throwing up?
Yeah.
I mean, do you actually want us to get you a bucket?
We might need it. Or I'm gonna be running. We should tease this like the reality television show on cable networks. Like we'll go to commercial. Will he or won't he? Keep on coming back and recapping the last 10 minutes. End on a cliffhanger. Oh Jesus!
We ready?
Brooks.
Are we doing all 3 at the same time?
Yep.
Oh fuck.
One right after the other.
Okay, I might need something. I'm not even joking.
Oh, Brooks, 2 down, 3, and chase it with some Marmite.
You didn't finish the 3rd one.
Oh no.
I don't know what that tastes like. The Malort's fine. It's just. All right, it's your turn now.
This is not gonna go well.
Would you mind passing me one of those Kleenex before you pour into there?
Oh, sure.
I shan't be contaminated by Brooks. The first stage of the disease is puns.
How are you feeling on that Marmite?
The Marmite tastes like it smells. It tastes like concentrated toast.
Concentrated toast.
It's powdered toast, man.
Toast.
Powdered
now with
toast,
100%
man.
more toast.
Hey, it's better than powdered milk, man. Am I right?
Well, you are. What? Oh, never mind. I was gonna say I was gonna go and grab a bucket for
A pretty Dan
for
never-
Tyler here.
Did you drink it?
No, I spilled some on my pants.
Oh,
I spilled it.
my pants.
I'm scared. I'm not even kidding. I'm a little.
Why are you
worried right
afraid? It's liquor. I drank it. I didn't even react.
now. You've had it before.
That's true.
Yeah, you didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I've never done 3 in a row like that.
I have not.
My
smelled this yet.
a birthday tradition that I abandoned once I stopped being under 25 was doing a revolver, which is just 6 shots of whiskey, back, and then I'm done for the rest of the evening.
See, that's never my style. I may drink a lot, but I usually don't slam shots back to back.
Yeah, it's not usually my style either, but I thought that if we were going to truly make this an endurance thing, or, because Brooks and I have, both had Malort before, so I felt like we needed to kind of up the difficulty.
ante.
a little bit.
Alert.
Ermagerd Malort.
Alert. You're going to fight your dad tonight.
Sniff.
I don't need alcohol to do that.
You have to know where he is first, Tyler.
Like, honestly, it just smells like cheap vodka. Like,
It don't taste like it.
oh, I'm sure not.
But yeah, I don't like Marmite.
No?
Oh, that's interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Got a unique bouquet to
Yeah,
it.
and it's got it's got an aftertaste that just hangs out on the back of your tongue.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm building this up in my head. I'm probably not gonna hit.
Why
it
do
as
you
much as I
think you're going third?
Ooh, that didn't sound good. That last one sounded like it hit pretty hard.
That's how it always sounds when I swallow stuff.
You don't even go here.
It's kind of good.
Yeah?
You like it?
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about it. But then again, I did have it after 3 shots of
smell it.
Malort.
I don't know.
Yeah?
Is that the Malort? Is that the?
So a satisfying chase?
I
Kind of. Yeah.
I bet that would actually taste good if you had like a hot open face sandwich with it.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Like
Like that is actually really tasty.
Oh, Jesus.
It's robust.
It's really savory. It wasn't what I was expecting for sure. All right.
Dan, may I enlist you to wipe down those once again? I am going to retrieve a bucket for Tyler.
It might be needed. I'm
A
dealing
bucket.
with hangover a little bit.
Well, this will help you right the fuck out.
from drinking from 9 till 6 in the morning last night.
Well, you know.
Honestly, like, Malort was not as flavorful as I'd hoped it would be. It's actually,
Wait till you microwave it.
it's pretty bland. Like, it does not have a... It's like dirt.
Tastes like poop.
All right.
So I hope that you don't have to vomit
Send
more than
Bobs.
10 quarts.
I hope so too. I have a lot of food and alcohol still in my system. From last
I'm one of
night.
those guys who sympathy vomits, so I'm going to step away real quick.
Can we please? End
I
this
mean,
like an episode
you
of that-
you guys
that episode
could
of
just
Family Guy?
keep the bucket between the two of you
I'll put it right
and have a
here.
true Lady and the Tramp moment.
if I just step away,
No, this is gonna be a Family Guy Ipecac moment here.
Yeah. Oh my God, what's going?
Lord have mercy.
All right, I know I've just built this up in my head. It's not gonna be as bad.
psyching yourself out.
You are psyching yourself out, but that's going to make it worse, which is great.
People in Chicago drink it, and people in Chicago move here, so.
Yeah,
Honestly,
he's not wrong.
Tells me that people in Chicago have made bad decisions.
You got no steel. If that makes you throw up, no steel.
No steel.
All right.
Blue steel.
Oh, that reminds
One
me.
down.
Sonic and Tails are making a very special appearance
Yes.
on OKKO.
On OKKO.
The longer you wait, the harder it's going to be.
Just go.
Just
go.
pound it.
Just go. Let that skull kill you.
Oh,
Come on, boy.
I'll hold back your hair.
Now grab the liver and head cheese sandwich.
Grab the
Shoot
sur-
it.
grab
Shoot,
the surstrumming.
Shoot.
Big breath in, throw it back.
Shoot. There you go. Now you're a man.
Oh.
A man.
Oh.
Don't do it. You can do it.
Marmite.
That'll make him.
The bread will help.
The bread will soak up the alcohol.
I think he's gonna make it.
I think he's gonna make it.
Come on, Tyler.
You can do it.
No, I'm good. The Marmite actually really did help.
I told you what.
Yeah, it kind
God.
of took the sting off the last shot. Yeah.
Because the hard part for me isn't.
Watch out! You're blocking the frame.
Oh, that was an adventure. Okay, again.
Would you like the rest of your Marmite bread?
I might want
You
to.
can have the rest of my Marmite. Dan.
We'll leave that in your vicinity just in case things come back.
What is that garbage that people drink? Why?
I would drink it more. Like,
No.
I wouldn't really enjoy it, but
It's one of those things where it's just like, fuck you, I'll take a shot of Malort.
yeah, I was told it was supposed to have like a vanilla tinge to it. It doesn't at all. There's
There's
nothing.
no vanilla. It's just bitter gross.
It tastes like butt, not in a sexual manner.
It's just like vodka that
I mean, it
hates
might, but
you.
still tastes terrible. Like,
Clearly, you've never been to Singapore.
And that is the amount of Malort that
they put
remains.
Dorito flavor dust.
It tastes like vodka that you distilled. It tastes like vodka that you distilled dirty socks.
you want salsa verde or Cool Ranch?
By the way, in the UK, guess what Cool Ranch is called?
Cool American.
Yeah, it's Cool American.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Sick.
I am cool American.
Hey, what's up? I'm Cool American.
That's-
I live in California. I like the 49ers.
All right, here goes.
I feel it like sitting right here.
so
it's
gross.
On that like moment of wanting to come up or staying in.
Yeah, that's what we call a long finish.
It literally tastes like vodka that you distilled dirty socks in. Like,
Yep.
it's gross. That's gross.
It is dirty sock vodka.
It's wormwood liqueur, you plebes.
It just tastes like bad vodka. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just- it tastes like vodka that hates you.
Oh.
It tastes like I'm beginning to realize I have a problem.
I now have a barometer for when I know I'm an alcoholic. If I take a drink of that and like it, then I'm stopping drinking forever.
Like I said,
That's the end of my.
I've
drinking
taken worse
career.
shots. I'm telling you, if I throw that scotch at you guys, ooh, that'd be a great time.
All right.
58%.
This is
It's good.
Wait, is
I
that
don't-
is that someone else who wants a shot of Malort?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh. And for those of you playing at home, you should also take 3 shots of Malort.
What is that flavor?
I don't know, but it's
Concentrated
delectable.
toast.
It's
Like,
like
salty.
yeah.
Hey, all
Salty
toast.
umami
Toast.
bitterness.
Toast is.
But I don't know if that bitterness
so
is
weird.
from
The bitterness is definitely from
No,
the
it might be
Malort.
from-
All toast is toast.
Oh, my stomach. Oh, I don't like that.
I am a big fan of Marmite.
Yeah.
That is mixing weirdly.
You would be.
I know.
yeah.
I actually don't mind the Marmite. The Marmite's not bad.
Like I think if I said if I had it with something like on a hot open face sandwich, that'd probably be extra bomb. But and then it also might be the Malort talking. 'Cause,
Your face is already turning red.
Oh yeah, well you're gonna notice people on camera that I'm gonna get this band around my eyes, and that portrays my true Asian heritage. Secret Asian man.
Secret.
Now, one of the best things I heard when I was at a bar over in Scotland. So
Meat paste.
we all hear about the American palate being too sweet and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a Scottish bartender when my grandfather asked for soda water say, "We don't have that; it's too sweet. We have tonic water."
Wow.
Tonic water is delicious, and I could drink that shit
I
all
actually
day.
like tonic.
I really
I
don't.
don't like tonic water at
I
all.
love it, but there was this. Okay, so
I don't even know what quinine is.
It's-
I
it's
know,
tree
just
bark.
know that I hate it.
it's tree bark.
Oh, okay.
So when I was a kid, our youth, the youth group I was in, we went to a WNBA game. We had like a box. So it was like, I'm not into sports, but I get to go sit in a fancy like box seating and like get to do that. So Brent and I went.
Like right here. We're not
And
sure which way this is going
the
now.
entire time we sat there, and I was shouting the wrong terminology. It's like home run,
Yeah.
strike. And there was a mini fridge full of just tonic water, and so I'm just slamming this tonic water because it was delicious. I was a kid, and ever since then I've been in love with tonic.
That is really weird.
That is a very
Yep.
weird.
Tonic
story.
water is also because quinine is a malaria treatment.
Yep. So I'm never gonna get malaria.
Woo!
Although apparently you can drink too much and it will cause some,
You can drink too much of anything.
well, yeah, but I think it'll cause like some kind of medical issues more so than drinking too much.
You've become so powerful that you have anti-malaria.
now mosquito populations die off when the mere sight of me.
Yeah. And then you cause a disruption in the food chain because all of the things that feed off of mosquitoes
Right.
start starving to death.
Destroyer of worlds.
I arrive on a pale horse. I arrive on a pale horse called tonic water.
Hashtag quinine.
Fuck you.
Good. No.
But
Wait, it's been a while. 3, 2, 1. Brooks!
So speaking of what we were talking about earlier, shows jumping to other networks and stuff like that.
Yeah. The
The
Orville.
Orville
Yeah.
is jumping to Hulu. And last night, Zeke and I were sitting around, we're speculating about what they're going to do with
And
that.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know what to make of that.
I'm hoping it's a good thing, and here's why. Because I think regardless of who is Seth MacFarlane's boss,
Seth MacFarlane.
Right now, just with your facial hair the way that it is,
Yeah.
you look like a guy who would make that joke and laugh that way.
I look like a dad.
Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane, more like Seth MacFarlane.
Now where did my stepson hide my Molly Hatchet 8 tracks?
Everyone, look forward to your Prospector Dan action figures coming this fall.
With 10 lifelike phrases.
Woo! Being one of them.
Seth MacFarlane. But
I'm dead inside.
silence.
Just
One of the audio clips is just a gunshot.
crying.
Going back to the Orville.
Yeah, so the Orville.
I think regardless of who his boss is, I think he's going to stick with the same kind of deal he's doing. But since it's on Hulu and not on broadcast television anymore, they don't have to worry about censoring certain kinds of things. But I think he's going to take that opportunity to do Star Trek stuff with it. Like, we've never addressed on Star Trek in any meaningful capacity the use of profanity.
Sure.
Like, at all. Like,
Right, because we haven't had an opportunity to. Well,
Fucking
the
beam me up,
films.
Scotty.
Well, I mean,
would you
like
insert an
in
F
some of
word?
the movies, profanity has been used. But
fucking doctor, Jim.
We have two foils that we can have open a discussion about profanity, the use of profanity, and what does it actually mean with characters in the show. 'Cause
Sure.
we have the two. We have Isaac, who is studying humanity from outside.
Who will not have had exposure to profanity,
Yeah,
or
and he
an
wouldn't have used it.
understanding of its purpose, or
In context,
Yeah.
in cultural meaning, and then Bortus,
yeah,
who
we've already seen once
Bortus sounds like
exposed to cigarettes.
yeah.
That was a great episode, and I fucking loved it.
As somebody who has never watched it, Bortus sounds like a Russian cyborg.
Bortus it
Not
comes
Worf.
from a race, not Worf, basically.
Okay, that makes sense.
But comes from a race that is entirely male.
Ah.
Hold on, I'm getting there. Reproduces by laying eggs, and occasionally birth females. When females are born, they are corrected.
Against their will.
Fair.
Yeah. So
And without spoiling too much of the show, which if you haven't gone and watched this show
watch
yet,
it. It's
you need
so
to
good.
watch it. Like
it really is.
like
It's
for
the
as bad as Star
it's
Trek
the Star
Discovery
Trek,
is.
It's the Star Trek we deserve.
Yeah, every time that Zeke and I sit down and we watch it, there's almost mandatory moment that we turn and we look at each other whenever a really cool Star Trek thing happens.
70.
And, we're like, this
Malort.
could have been Star Trek. Because for as shitty and as much as I don't like Discovery, because I really don't. I tried so hard.
I haven't bothered with Discovery
heard
because I've
fine.
heard bad things. I've heard nothing but bad things.
It's well, like,
Discovery is trying to be action Star Trek.
Yeah,
Discovery is trying to be the movie Star Trek. J.J. Abrams.
And those
Star
movies
Trek.
were great. I liked them with the exception of the second one. The second one was kind of
They're
weak.
great in their
Yeah.
world.
How many of them were there?
They don't work as a
Three.
serial.
Okay, I thought there was only two. Like they were good,
there are
with the
three?
exception of the second one.
Yeah. You have Star Trek Into Darkness, and Star Trek Beyond. You haven't seen the third one?
No, I guess not.
The third
Wait, which one
one-
had Benedict Crambly Pants as?
Second.
Okay,
Second
then yeah,
one.
that's the last one that I saw.
Oh, well, you need to see the third one then, because
Bumblebutt Coriander.
Bumblebutt Coriander. I like that.
You can just
Idris Elba's
get
the bad guy.
cadence. I just like what. Anyway, continue.
Idris Elba is the bad guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I've
Idris
not
Elba's
seen-
rad.
Idris Elba's the
Idris
bad
Elba
guy.
is rad.
There are nods to Enterprise, which is what I like.
Why have I not?
But
No one gives a shit about Scott Bakula.
You know what? Cats can dance.
Speaking of,
Nope.
Has anyone seen the
That
is that trailer? Holy shit! I like musicals,
I
and
saw.
that is awful.
I saw. I should have been
And
like.
scene.
I saw a great meme that that was like Doctor Who did it better. The cat people on the episode where everyone's perpetually stuck in a traffic
highway.
jam on a highway, and
The most
there's
relatable episode of Doctor
Yeah.
Who there ever has been.
but there are cat people there, and they look good, and it's all done in makeup.
they don't look like nightmare people.
This is weird. Like made some CGI cat person and put human things.
And they
You know,
are
when-
cat size.
They've
When
got
the Cat in the Hat does
and
a
the
better
cat
job
size thing is
making
weird.
someone look like a convincing cat, you know that your movie is fucked.
Yes.
Because all I
But-
wanted to see was someone with a bat.
the whole thing though is like visuals aside, they've got incredible actors
Idris Elba's in it.
attached to it.
Idris Elba's in it.
All of the performance elements that I saw in the trailer looked great.
Because it's the choreographer
It's
from Hamilton.
Still the weird, uncanny, like I wouldn't even call it uncanny valley. It's
just
just
fucking weird.
doesn't pass.
The Uncanny Valley.
Meow.
Do we get two in one
Meow,
episode?
that's right.
2 in one episode?
No, I'm not going to give him Brooks for that.
No,
not.
it's okay. It's okay.
Because I think that, and I would not be surprised if once this film fails, that the Uncatty Valley becomes an actual term that is used to refer to this type of
You
failure.
heard it here, folks. The witness of a linguistic
Valley.
phenomenon.
Because you know what?
Topless Robot Divination Services brought to you by.
Because you know what?
that in the year 2283, tuna fish will be illegal on all 13 planetary colonies. You know, I'm down to do a fake predictions thing, like
That would be
Criswell,
hilarious.
like Criswell.
As long as you start everything with Mecha Lekla Hi, Mecha Heiny Ho.
Once we have the studio
Like
set
a
up.
high, make a high.
You mean our cubicle
Yeah.
prison of shame?
Once we get the studio set up, it's hopefully not going to be that long. I really want to start construction on it soon.
It just needs to not be 1,000 degrees outside.
Well, the interior is air conditioned.
It's air
I'm giving him
conditioned.
an
We
out.
only need to finish
giving
the
him an out.
inside.
Welcome to Arizona, where when you're inside, you're air conditioned.
When you're inside with air conditioning, you're still sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I have
we
the air
did just
conditioning
drink a
set
lot
at
of
70
booze.
and I'm still warm.
Yeah.
Never mind Dan, who has a low tolerance for heat.
Yeah,
And if
I
you
get warm
aren't-
at like 60 degrees.
If you aren't watching the video, Dan is actually a literal fireball right now. He's on fire.
It's
uncomfortable.
because Dan's DNA is infused with frozen yogurt.
Why? Because Dannon,
Yes.
Boo.
the yogurt company.
Danimals.
I can't even remember what we were talking
talking
about
about the
before we
Orville,
got
which then led
fucking
to Star Trek
sidetracked by
movies,
cats.
which
That's
then
the
led to
Malort
cats.
talking.
So
There hasn't been any video game news this week, has there?
Any what?
not really. I mean, it's all been wrapped up by
Yeah.
Comic-Con.
Less than a week away from Fire Emblem Three Houses. Are you
Again,
prepared
if you
for me to
hear-
suffer?
Yes.
If you
yes, I
hear
am.
high-pitched
Oh,
screaming
oh,
for
yeah.
a solid
The-
week
the
straight, that's
messenger-
just Dan.
The Messenger dropped new DLC. I haven't checked it out yet.
Yeah, Messenger dropped free
that's right.
DLC. If you were looking forward to the Borderlands 2 DLC that bridges Borderlands 2 to Borderlands 3, and you have not downloaded it yet, surprise! It's no longer free. It's $15. It was only free until July 8th.
Well, that sucks.
That was
but
I just wanted to say-
surprise I got last night.
With the upcoming new Fire Emblem and how much I've talked about it, how do we feel about my untainted first playthrough being recorded?
Absolutely.
We need to do this.
So my rage can be
Shared across the populace.
shared across the populace. Yes.
I am excited and honored to witness the downfall of a fandom.
I'm going to drink.
Absolutely.
You should.
Yes.
You should.
Yes, not
Yeah.
downfall. The downfall of Western civilization.
I'm sorry,
has
no.
nothing on this video.
The last thing I have to say about that is the downfall of the fandom began with the last installment known as Fire Emblem Fates, which was fucking garbage. That's it.
Well,
Dan wants to say more.
Oh,
I can hear him biting backwards.
we gotta
I hate Treehouse.
remind me to. We gotta talk about the thing I showed you the other night.
Okay.
Ode to the Moon.
Yep. Because we do need to, VR is probably a crucial element of that equation, but
Yeah,
we'll
absolutely.
talk off pod.
Guys,
You're gonna have to look that up yourself.
The other things that we got out of Comic-Con is, for some fucking ungodly, unknown fucking reason, we started the weekend with Tom Cruise.
Oh, that's right. Nobody cares. Top Gun is old.
That's so
Boo.
weird.
So-
Next.
I love Top Gun.
Well, yeah.
I absolutely love Top Gun.
I saw that 40-foot volleyball scene in IMAX.
Ironically love
It's a good movie.
Top
playing
Gun.
with the boys, dude.
I grew up. Like,
gotta have that song play sometime when we're doing stuff.
One of the earliest memories that I have, like,
Is playing with the boys.
no. One of the earliest, like, cinema
Yeah.
memories that I have is watching Top Gun and
Oh,
crying when Goose dies.
Right after
And,
Vietnam.
Like, I watched Top Gun over and over again. It was one of my favorite movies.
Seeing
when I was
his
a
head
little-
hit the
when I was a
canopy was
little
just
kid.
like heart wrenching.
for
spoiler.
how corny of an action movie that was. Yeah, like when Goose dies, it's actually kind of sad.
Yeah.
I loved the characters, and I've always identified with the goofball. When I was a kid, I was a Mikey guy. I loved Goose.
Something Mikey from the Goonies.
No, Mikey from Ninja Turtles.
And also Mikey from the Goonies.
I tried. Dan, see, that's all we want from you. You try. That's
You know, Dan,
we're
you
proud
are
of you.
in fact good enough.
Thank you.
You're smart enough,
you are acceptable.
You're good enough.
and gosh darn it, people like you.
Good enough for me.
Dan's like, what do I do with all this goodwill?
No, he's more like, what do I do with all this sweat?
With all this fireball that's
How do I
engulfing
deal
my
with
body?
all of this additional liquid that my body is producing?
Remind me. There's another travesty of the '80s that I got to talk about.
Okay,
when this
so-
is done.
From what I saw on the trailer that they revealed for Top Gun Maverick, it looks like they're hitting all the same story
gonna be the
beats
same
as
beat.
the first fucking Top Gun.
You know,
they had
surprise.
the topless volleyball scene in Top Gun Maverick trailer. Move past it.
You know, I
wanna play with the boys. It's been 30 goddamn years.
You know. The reason why we couldn't see this coming is because they were inverted. I have very fond memories of screaming down the freeway in my uncle's Duster with him blasting Danger Zone.
Oh, totally.
And
Look,
that was the
leave
coolest
those
shit.
memories.
Yeah.
Let's not fuck that up.
In fact, I
It's
always think of
before-
that Plymouth Duster whenever I hear the song.
It's before we knew that Tom Cruise was the poster child fucking Scientologist that he is.
Scientology.
He's a great actor. I was telling Jasmine just the other day, Tom Cruise is an incredible actor because in all of his films, he makes you believe that he's a real person.
He makes you believe that he's tall.
That's the platform shoes.
You know, I've never thought about it that way. I'm not a huge Tom Cruise fan, but he does a pretty good job of being a human actor.
Yeah.
That's a good approximation.
Because when
of
you-
humanity.
When you see him, you know, in interviews or outside of any media context, any film, like professional film production,
He's a fucking weirdo.
it's
He's
weird.
terrifying.
It's really weird and scary.
Wow,
shark
a
eyes.
thespian is strange. Who could have guessed?
But
Right.
this is different.
But
this is
a
different.
very
No,
different
because-
kind of.
There's
Because
something
his
wrong.
consciousness has been replaced by an alien entity.
Eric
His theme
Andre.
levels.
Eric Andre is strange.
Fucking
Tom Cruise is something
Uncanny
else.
Valley, Uncanny Valley.
wouldn't
That
want-
feeling when you see the uncanny, like something that has.
He's an uncanny valley
Is he human or is he not?
Yes, that is
Well,
him. That's
according to his religion, he is not.
That's true.
He is an alien comprised of thetans and holy.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I mean, if anyone's gone clear, it's got to have been Tom Cruise, right?
well, he was inverted. But speaking of things that should not come back from the 80s, I heard that it's finally going to happen, and they're talking about doing a Last Starfighter sequel.
Yes, I saw that.
There's
as well.
no reason. There's no reason. Because, like, first of all, nobody gives a shit about that movie except for the people that really do. And it's not great. It's not a great movie.
Damn,
it
like,
is
really?
not. I'm willing to say that 70% of my
It's not a great
obsession
movie.
with it is because when I was a kid, I had the VHS, and it was one of the few movies, because that's when I was going by Alex mostly, that, you know, there was someone named Alex in a movie that was like the hero,
Sure,
and I love it, but we don't need to bring it back.
right, but so
Grig is cool enough.
it has since been bested in media.
Yeah.
At the time, there were fewer options, and
I mean, it was a double-
when you watch it in the context of the time, it was a great movie.
Yeah. It is a charming little slice of science fiction from a time when the how we were starting to do science fiction was changing.
Yes.
And also, it was revolutionary in the field of CGI effects as well.
Yep.
Because they did most of that movie with a computer. It wasn't Tron, because, you know, Tron came out a few years prior to that, but just the way they did everything was really cool.
Yeah.
But
I don't think that it needs to be revisited.
Super weird.
No.
It absolutely doesn't need to be
I don't think
revisited.
so.
It was a product of its time for sure.
The only thing that I can
easier
be
to
excited
remake an
about
old thing
regarding
than
the
make a new
sequel
thing.
is the fact that I might be able to buy a model of a Gunstar finally, because that's all I want.
I mean,
But it's going to be the new
yeah, right. It's going to be whatever
new redesigned version.
their redesign
because
becomes.
they always sell the classic stuff. Like if you notice, like right before a soft reboot of a franchise comes out, you see a bunch. Like when Ghostbusters the new Ghostbusters came out.
Sure. Now,
there was a
yeah, we
ton of
have seen a
Ghostbusters
lot
stuff.
more. Hey, case in point, this was in my loot crate this month.
Oh, look, is that PewDiePie?
What the? It's the Venkman sliming scene, and it's actually a very well done sculpt.
Slimer looks better than he did in the movie.
Yeah, like seriously. What's weird though is this is not identifiable as Bill Murray.
No, not at all.
This is. I honestly thought it was Ray when I unpackaged.
Maybe
him.
it originally
looks like.
maybe
gave
the
him
original
too much
sculpt
hair.
was Ray, and they're like, oh, we have to, we got to change this a little.
Oh
bit.
yeah, this scene is with Bill
Sorry,
Murray.
I never
Well,
actually saw the film. I don't own a television.
But it's a perfectly nice figure.
Yeah,
but
it's
we
cool.
have seen a resurgence of Ghostbusters stuff in the wake of the new Ghostbusters film. However, it's also a lot of like celebrating the anniversary of that
Yeah, and, like,
contributes to that.
You know, it's. I do like the fact that we are gonna, you know, that the mainstream is acknowledging, you know, these pop culture touchstones of the past, and that's great. I love that there are kids that are out there that are gonna see this stuff that maybe wouldn't have because their parents weren't into it, you know, and it's gonna get more exposure. But like, I just want more. I just want new stories. I don't think we need to do the Ghostbusters again.
No, I agree.
I don't think we got to do the Last Starfighter again. We certainly don't need Top Gun again, but that's happening.
yeah.
Weird.
What are they coming for next? Back to the Future?
Guarantee it'll happen.
Nope. Zemeckis is going to fight that tooth and
Good.
nail.
Because I can't live with that.
Though I remember hearing rumors about something going on with Back to the Future.
I guarantee you we're gonna get like some prequel or some.
But
garbage like
on
that.
it's so, and I've said it in a previous podcast. Zemeckis has in his contract that like as long as he lives, they can't touch the Back to the Future.
So they're going to kill
Robin-
him.
yeah,
Robin
right.
Williams had in his contract that Disney would not use him in marketing material for Aladdin.
They didn't use him in marketing
They
material.
did. That's why he didn't go back for number 2. There was a big spat.
Really?
Yes. Like immediately after the
Oh,
movie.
in that
the original.
they couldn't use him in marketing material for the original
when
Aladdin
it first
film.
came out, he had it written into his contract that he'll do the voice acting for Genie as long as Disney does not use.
Basically,
his
they
name.
wouldn't be able to use Genie at all. You mean they wouldn't
His
be able
name,
to
they
say
wouldn't be able to-
starring Robin
Yeah,
Williams?
and they were like weren't supposed to like push that it's a Robin Williams movie. It wasn't like Genie was not supposed to be the first.
He wanted to
thing
be
that they marketed.
surprised.
They were.
Really?
It was supposed to be about the animation and the movie itself, not Robin Williams is the Genie.
sure.
And they just completely trampled all over it. And there was a big old thing. It's a lot of fun. Lindsay
Well,
Ellis did a
thoughtful.
really good.
It's harder to sell a movie on Gilbert Gottfried than it is Robin Williams.
Mike
because
Clitoris!
because without really screeches. So imagine this trailer, right, where you
Gilbert Gottfried.
can't call on you can't invoke Robin Williams' name during this trailer, so you have to fall on the other big name that you have, which is Gilbert Gottfried.
You mean not the guy who voice acted Aladdin like this? Whoa!
Nar!
I have no idea
Gleaming
who
the
that
cube.
guy is, or who played Jasmine, or
Princess
who played
Yasmin.
Jafar.
Yeah, the guy did Jafar did a good job.
He did a great
was
job.
Particularly evil.
The guy who did, or the chick who did Jasmine, and whoever did Aladdin, did perfectly serviceable
Yeah,
work
they were
of being
fine.
neutral protagonists.
They were Disney
know.
protagonists.
Yeah.
Uninteresting.
Yeah.
As per usual.
I mean, pretty much.
Generic. Everything you come to expect from a quality family film.
Something,
worship your Disney overlord.
Oh my God, Disneyland!
I mean, but there is something to be
Stop
said
mocking
for. There is something to be said for doing an unremarkable performance.
Oh, of course.
You're not supposed to stand out in that kind of role. You're not supposed to, you're supposed to be just the every guy doing the thing and whatever.
Hey.
Yeah, but if you do your job and I'm not interested, I'm still not interested. Like, if what you were doing is intentional and I'm still not impressed, I'm just still not impressed.
No, that's fair. But if my goal is to keep you unimpressed,
Then good for you, but I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy your entertainment product.
achieved my goal.
Look at Ryan playing 4D chess here. I severely disappointed everyone who watched my thing, and that's what I wanted. Yes, no, I'm gonna be fulfilled.
Anyone who didn't like Andy Kaufman, for example, Andy Kaufman aimed to have people not like him.
That's fair.
Success.
Yep.
Speaking of success, actually, not really. I don't know. I guess they're doing a Cuphead animated show.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
And it's going to be a Netflix show.
Gonna put the suck in success.
That's really good. Might be the liquor talking.
I'll take it.
Malort says weird things sometimes.
I am very curious about how they're going to go. They're going to have to lean hard on the aesthetic.
Aesthetic.
I do like.
But creating an animated
the story
series is-
itself is not really that in depth.
And that's what I'm worried
no.
about.
If-
Making an animated series is going to put a lot of crunch time on the animation quality, and Cuphead sells itself in animation quality.
Yeah.
Well, I think what they're gonna do is because they're all based on those old Fleischman cartoons.
Sure, yeah.
I think they're just gonna make just cartoons that feature them because, like there's not much of a story with Cuphead, except oh no, I made a deal with the devil and now I gotta kill a bunch of bosses and this is hard. And that kind of thing, if you're trying to adapt that into another kind of media, can either go one of two ways. You can focus too much on I have to adapt this according to the game exactly, and it's gonna suck.
You make your own
or you just
story in the
you just take the characters
really-
and you put them in situations that fit them.
Right. I don't, especially considering the animation of the time was very a la carte.
Yeah.
There was not a continual story or anything. It was, hey,
Something
here's
silly is
5 minutes of
happening.
something dumb. Like that's all that era of
Oh look,
animation
it's a
was.
fart joke.
The thing is, I don't
not really.
like how it looks. This is a screenshot. Like, it looks different. Like,
Well,
It looks like John K. art.
I like the
It
thing
loo-
I
it-
liked
it-
about the aesthetic was
it looks
the old school
it looks
quality.
like an
you,
LJN game
Forward
cover.
that to me so I can
Yeah.
put it up. It
It looks like
I
a
had
new
not
school
seen
twist
that,
on an old school animation style.
though.
Yeah.
So I don't.
We have
expect,
to add the film grade filter.
I don't expect that poster, that digital poster, to be representative of the product. I mean,
Yeah,
because we see that all the time.
Yeah.
But that feels very John K. in the curliness of the lines and the proportions of the characters and things like that. It just kind of feels sort of weird.
it does. It
It,
feels-
it's either going to be fun and forgettable or it's going to be boring and forgettable. But
Right.
I suspect that it's going to
The
be forgettable.
thing that they need to avoid most of all is trying to turn the game into a cohesive story.
Yep.
Yep.
That's why the Sonic the Hedgehog
abandon that
movie
plot,
doesn't
do
work.
something different.
If that's the route they go, instant failure. It's not going to do well.
I'm always okay with making a video game or moving video games into a new realm, but the worst thing you can do is just make that same story again because we've
Or The
already
Witcher.
experienced that story, and that story depends
and it's
on.
not.
It's not even like it's not.
It's not a story.
It's not a story. It's flavor. Really, it's flavor.
Yeah,
text.
it's pretense to do shit in this
It
universe.
gives you
That's
a reason
it.
that you're going
Right.
and fighting. Like that's all it is.
Hey, collect these souls. Cool. Thanks. Done.
Got it.
I win. What a great game.
Un aplauso.
But yeah, I think that the best way that it's going to be served is in these 5-minute max bites of that.
It'll be like the Sonic Mania adventure little cartoons they did. Little fun. This has nothing to do with the game. It's just here, and it's
Yeah,
not
That's
live
why
action.
they're good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Why I think we've gone over it before. The game adaptations of movies that have worked have been ones that make their own stories, like Escape from Butcher's Bay.
Or Mummy Remastered.
Or Street Fighter.
You know,
That was its own unique story.
I beheld Satan like lightning as he fell from heaven. And then,
And then he
now I'm
kicked
gonna-
Bison's ass.
And then I'm gonna run into Ryan's big ass TV and explode with my cool glow shoes.
Beautiful.
All I can say is Raul Julia was a treasure. Rest in peace,
Truly.
Raul Julia.
Raul Julia was a fantastic actor, and I'm so sorry that his last film.
That's why you never do anything for your children.
Well, it's like fucking what's his face from the Mario movie, you know? Dad, I didn't need to choose
Bob
that
Hoskins.
bad.
Bob
Yeah,
Hoskins, poor Bob. And I mean, John Leguizamo too. He's a fantastic actor. Like,
Hey, they were all
Right,
drunk on
but-
set.
So, no,
lot
I
of
guess
good
both of
actors
them
in that.
kind of.
Dennis
And Dennis Hopper.
Hopper.
But Dennis Hopper is the edge lord of, like, honestly, he is
Wedge
just.
Lord.
He was in fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He's, like, he is. Wait, was he in Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I feel like he was. I'm just going to say that he was, and I'm going to treat that as truth.
It is now fact.
We'll
It is
retcon it
now
now.
fact.
Going to
in the-
Wikipedia as we speak.
I know as a fact that he worked with Toby Hooper, and Toby Hooper was a brilliant, person. And Dennis Hopper has always been these kind of edgy characters.
Edgy.
And, so he's not one who's like foreign to the idea of taking risks for a thing.
Violence.
So him as King Koopa, fuck, man. Like, it really
idea.
could have been awesome.
Okay,
That movie.
What was
Can you
worse?
tell me
So
there's
good.
a movie with Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo, Dennis Hopper, and it was a Mario movie, and I didn't know? I'd been like, that sounds amazing.
It could have been so
What
good.
was the worst adaptation? The Super Mario Brothers movie or the Double Dragon movie?
Oh my god, I forgot
Ooh,
there
that
was
is-
a Double Dragon movie.
that is
with
a tough call.
Robert Patrick
and with
Abobo.
the dude from who was on the show that created man, the Malort is in my brain. Who was the major Jessica Love Hewitt? Jennifer Love Hewitt. There it is.
Yeah.
She was on a show called like 20 something or something like that with a guy who played Billy in the Double Dragon movie.
Oh.
Because that's where I knew him from, was from this show that he did
Billy?
with Jennifer Love Hewitt.
So
My brain went straight to Stranger Things. It's like, what?
No, I'm sorry.
We're not talking about it yet.
Bimmy.
Bimmy and or Jimmy. We can talk about Stranger Things next week. I will have watched it.
Okay.
So we can talk about this because I've been kind of busy at home with stuff going on in my house. I got a new roommate and I've been running around and I haven't felt like watching anything new. I'm going to be doing that this week, so we can talk about Stranger Things season 3, which will give our viewers enough time to have watched it so we can talk about it in a spoiler
Hopefully.
cast.
Yeah. So if you watch and or listen to this podcast,
To this podcast.
Podcast.
watch Stranger Things season 3,
Prepare your anus.
because next week we'll dive into Stranger Things season 3. Though actually, I guess we say that without having conferred with Dan. I don't know what your media consumption level
Do you
is with
care
regard
about
to
it?
Stranger Things.
So I've taken the firm stance in my life that if somebody spoils something for me, unless it's like a spy thriller or something where the twist is important,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'll still enjoy a good film, a good movie, or a good game if I know someone dies or something happens, because the journey is what matters, not the payoff.
Did you know that the call came from inside the house?
Have you watched any of Stranger Things?
No.
Okay.
It's a show with
I know I
kids,
would like it though.
and they have adventures, and there's Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that I would like
There's
it.
a mind flayer in
So then
season 3.
maybe we won't dive into season 3 of Stranger Things
don't-
next week.
Will
You
we?
guys can
Will
do
we
it.
find
I
out
just-
next week on the...
I just wanted to say, before we got off topic,
Sorry.
my official ruling on the which one was a bigger failure, I'm going to give it to Mario Bros. Because
the more hype.
Mario Bros had the potential to be much greater than it was with the cast that it had.
True.
I would not have had nearly as high expectations for the Double Dragon movie. I would have expected it to be bad, and I would have enjoyed it for that. But you could have reasonably expected the Mario film to be good. And
Also,
it was a catastrophic
yeah,
shit.
We've talked
Yeah.
about it briefly in the past that the Mario Brothers film had like a ridiculous number of script revisions.
It was the
and
movie
they
equivalent
cycled-
of being stuck in development hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was.
And Double Dragon has, as far as like what you see on the face of it, the closest thing to a Hollywood story that you could make.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna.
I mean,
really
a lot of
quick-
those earlier video games with the rescue the girlfriend
Right.
story, like they're not that exciting. The games are fun because the gameplay is fun, and you happen to be rescuing somebody. You know, I'm gonna beat up 873 people to get to this person, and when I get to the credits, I'm gonna go pee.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that you're all wrong, and the winner for worst video game adaptation movie of all time is In the Name of the King, a Dungeon League tale,
I don't know what you're
or
talking
Dungeon
about.
Siege tale.
Dungeon Siege, yeah.
Yeah, except nobody cared.
Yeah.
That movie was.
I mean, we're also so
Big
Yui
Force Gun.
Bowl doesn't count
That's fair.
because
That
Yui
is
Bowl
fair.
also
That's
did
just
House of
picking
the
on the-
Dead. Yui Bowl also did a number of
Blood Rain.
yeah, Blood Rain and a bunch. Yui Bowl doesn't count.
That's picking on the obvious.
Right.
The obvious one.
And specifically, the Double Dragon film and the Mario Brothers film were of the same era. It was a time when music or video game movies didn't exist.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I think the closest thing you had to that was movies that weren't actually based on a game, but featured a game. So like going back to The Last Starfighter,
like or The Wizard.
or Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah.
Which actually they made that game because of the movie.
Sure.
And it wasn't. Yeah, it's not that good.
Or even what was the
War Games?
Yes, thank you.
War Games, but they actually made a game later based on that, which is actually a really fun.
Right, but Matthew Broderick,
he did play Gallagher.
That
in
whole
movie.
thing, he's basically like playing a text adventure, and that's what it was at the time.
Would you like to play a game of
So those early movies that had game influences were like more game influences, not based on games.
Inspired by,
Yeah.
as opposed to Galaga the film.
Right. They incorporated it, and
the
I
only
would
way
say
to win is not to play.
I would say in the case of War Games, they achieved it. Like they nailed it.
Now, sorry, go ahead.
Then we get to the stuff that's just
Here's
based
the license.
on video games. Yeah, here's the license. Do the thing, and
How about a nice game of chess?
I wouldn't even say our first couple of outings. Our first
Most of them.
probably 20 years of outings in video game licensing and film.
Doom.
were
Blood Rain.
Not great. We're at the end of the podcast, but fuck, man. Doom Annihilation. There's a new Doom movie coming out.
Yes, it should be good.
It's not going to be good.
I said should. I didn't say would.
I would love it to be.
No, they gotta
Witcher trailer.
And the
Witcher trailer actually looked fucking
Witcher.
cool. I'm really excited. As much as I don't like Henry Cavill as an actor or a human being,
I was the British
show
Superman.
looks cool.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
I have to say, I mean, I think people give it a lot of shit, and that's fine. But Geralt isn't known for being a particularly expressive character.
No.
Not at all.
So Henry Cavill is actually a pretty decent fit as somebody who's pretty stone faced.
My criticism or my precog criticism towards it is not, it has nothing to do with Henry Cavill, because I'm sure he's a fine actor and other things I've seen him in, he's okay. It's based on a video game, so naturally I think it's gonna explode.
Well,
It's not.
It's based more on the book
Based
than the
on the
video
book.
game.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
because the
perfect.
video game is based on a book series.
Yeah.
So
I've read the first 2 books and they're quite good.
I think that now seeing the characters like in motion,
Yeah.
I'm more sold on it, because like the still images, whatever. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, you got that
But
image down, whatever. who
actually,
gives a shit?
they're actually doing
But
stuff.
kind of, seeing the universe and seeing them interact,
Yeah.
with things around them. It looks like it could actually be pretty good.
I think that as far as properties to do a show on, that it definitely has the most stuff you could work with.
Yeah.
Because there
Those
is
are complex stories.
even the first
And there's
book.
a lot of books in that, isn't there?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's like 5 or 6 at least. The first book is just a bunch of smaller stories about just, adventures with monsters and like
and that's what
and
they're
hanging
kinda
out with
going-
Dandelion and shit, like
That's what they're kind of going with. It's supposed
what a
to be
cool
like,
name for a
It's
bard.
going to be a lot of Geralt fighting monsters, and then there's like a political over story.
Because you in order to
So it'll serve itself well to a serial
Yeah,
kind
exactly.
of
Yeah,
format.
Yeah, I think so.
because in order to establish good political drama in a show, you got to build the world first. You can't just like
You need to
introduce me to this is the president and these are his enemies.
We need to have something to be interested in first before you show us who's fucking it all up.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
yeah, exactly. Game of Thrones looking at you.
And I'm sure that there are many more things that we are glossing over. But
There's so much.
yeah.
This was a really big week. San Diego
Yeah.
Comic-Con did not disappoint.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't.
San Diego. My
My
mom went to San Diego Comic Con a couple of years ago.
I'm saying E3
Without me.
disappointed this year. So
She's a big nerd.
Really?
Yeah. Where do you think I get it from? Not my dad.
I don't fucking know, man.
yeah. She's
I
a-
assume that at some point in your life you just had like the right influence.
my mom. And my dad. Actually, they're both kind of nerds. My mom was super nerd. Oh, man.
Hopefully, I hope that by this time next year, we will have
Be headlining at San Diego Comic-Con.
I mean, no one headlines San Diego Comic-Con.
We will be the first people to headline San Diego Comic-Con.
We'll just be
But
3
we
blocks
will-
south on the corner in the parking lot.
We'll be at the closest TGI Fridays, closing it down.
I am hoping that we will have a presence at Comic-Con next year.
I'd love that.
However, if you're in Arizona or if you're traveling to Arizona for the gaming convention, Game On, we will be at Game On Expo the second weekend of August. It's August 9th, 10th, and 11th. We're going to have a booth at Game On, and that weekend we are going to be recording in front of a live audience for Game On Expo. So,
Recorded in front of a live studio audience.
on that note, we are done. That's the end of the fucking episode. We're probably over by like 10 minutes,
Yeah.
but we
As always.
have all drank most of this bottle of Malort.
Now I'm sober again.
So thanks for watching, and go on.
I don't have a rave. I just have a recommendation.
Oh.
Everyone, find the Tyler of your group, the one with the weak constitution. Make them drink Malort.
I'm still,
It's funny.
I'm
Very
still
entertaining.
tasting it. I still have the taste of
It will haunt your nightmares.
Tyler has a low fortitude save.
the Marmite
Dork.
left, I still taste that weird
Take
Yeah,
poison
Malort
damage,
sits on the
dummy.
back of your tongue.
still
Yeah.
there.
That's all I had to say.
All right. Yeah.
Anyway, drink Malort.
Drink Malort, fight your dad.
Thanks for watching and or listening. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Drink Malort, fight my dad. Bye.
Establishment. I'm taking off today and breathe. Sometimes you have to sit if you want to make a stand. Hate to shit, taking liberties. Taking liberties.
Luke, it says I'm locked out of my account again.
Hey everybody! Once again, I started talking at length about Hamilton, so Dan decided he was going to put me in the shame box. If you want to see all of our fun talks about musicals and everything like that, probably don't watch. But, still subscribe.
This is what you get when you sing.